Hello there, it's Josh here from the Racing to Profit Syndicates. The idea of this video is for me to whiz through the two horses we are leasing from the excellent Dr. Richard Newland, Endless Possibility and Sir Camford. On this page you will see a couple of videos from Richard talking through the horses, and you can see them doing a piece of doing some work in the last few days also. Endless Possibility is very exciting, hopefully aptly named, with the idea that in the next 6 months through to the end of October we're going to have a lot of fun with these two horses in hurdle races, and we shall see where they take us. But the idea is to go summer jumping, wonderful sunshine, afternoon meetings, evening meetings, and obviously to try and get some wins on the board and get some excitement. Endless Possibility is just that. He has a load of ability kind of lurking in the tank. He is a project, as Dr. Newland discusses, and I just wanted to talk through my own views on him and his profile. We can start with the pedigree, of course, which is always useful to some degree. He's out of a Derby winner who's done quite well actually with his jumps progeny. If I just click on him here, you can see here he's 46% winners to runners, which is pretty decent with all of his jumps, offspring, and those that have gone jumping, which isn't too shoddy at all. And in terms of his total offspring, their total number of runs, winning at a 12% win strike rate, plenty in the places as well. So decent there, very good on the hurdle front. They do quite well in National Hunt Flat as well, and only nine have run over fences, with a couple of winners. So interesting there. Of course, anything with kind of pedigree, the sire has some influence, and of course so does the dam. Endless Possibility, I should say, as you can see the synopsis from the Racing Post here. Sixth foal, half brother to Point Bumper, Smart, 2 mile 4, 2 mile 5 fell on hurdle chase winner Live Love Laugh, who did win the Topham for Willie Mullins. So that's decent. That Live Love Laugh produced by Another Evening. She herself, Another Evening, was a point winner, and she was a sister, full sister to 2 mile 6, 3 mile furlong hurdle chase winner Operation Houdini, even half sister to, who herself was a half sister to, a 2 mile 4 furlong hurdle chase winner. So you can see why, if you've watched the video from Dr. Newland on this page, why he has kind of signalled that the horse will be better when stepped up to kind of 2.5 miles, 2.6, and maybe 3 miles in time. It's very much a case of getting him handicapped while teaching him how to be a racehorse. I will just start on his point-to-point form. So that was decent enough. He ran quite well there, in rear, keen, and he's being keen. He's slowly kind of getting better, and the penny is dropping with him, and that's one of the reasons why he'll improve. I'll touch on that as well in a moment. Clear fifth before 4 out, going well. So he kind of travelled well to a point before then, no extra, and dropped away, possibly needing the run. They were all kind of just over 6 lengths behind Atalanta Brave. Comparing point form and how it works out over rules isn't a given, but if there's some substance to the point form, of course that's never a negative. And you can see here with Atalanta Brave, who Kerry Lee has after that point win, has won a couple of novice hurdles, posted some solid Racing Post ratings, 126, got an opening handicap mark of 119, ran on his return, possibly looking for better ground, I'm not sure, only last month, after a 54-day break. So you can see there, had some time off, did well in January, bit of a break. So it'll be interesting to see what he does. But some substance there in the fact that horse looks already is rated in the mid 120s, and he was 6 lengths behind him, possibly needing it in the point. And we shall see if that works out. Clearly, everyone, ourselves and Richard, would be cock a hoop if Ender's Possibility can turn into a kind of mid 120s handicap hurdler, and who knows, he may well go and beyond that. He's a stamp, and with any luck may well turn into a solid enough chaser as well, but that certainly won't be this season. But all being well, it could be something we have to look forward to in the seasons ahead. But to the here and now, you can obviously feel free to go and watch some of these replays back yourself. When I went to visit the yard actually the other week, last Tuesday, he worked very well, enthusiastic, and he has a good way of going. He clearly relishes the game, but he does need to learn to be a racehorse, which he is slowly doing, and that is one of the reasons why he is going to improve. He's been handicapped in maiden hurdles. Part of the reason of running him in the National Hunt Floughton 2 miles last time out, they generally go a quicker pace, and with keen horses that can help them settle and learn to be racehorses, which is very much the case. At Wetherby in the National Hunt Flat Race, he was prominent. That was his first run in 260 days. He did need it, but he was up there kind of until 3 furlongs out, raced enthusiastically on the pace, travelled fairly well. The point is that Richard thinks he needs 2.5 plus maybe 3 miles in time. So in these 2 miles and 2.5 mile races, he will be taken out of his comfort zone at certain points and going quicker than ideal, and using energy in the wrong part of the race. His first hurdle start didn't go that well. He did pull hard, as you can see there, by reading the comments there. He kind of pulled hard there, in touch with leaders, lost ground, dropped to last, soon pulled up, just said he ran too free, and he did make a mistake jumping the 5th last fence. This is on hurdle debut, of course, so he needs to learn to drop his head. His jumping will just get better with experience, but that's one of the reasons why hopefully when he goes handicapping from a certain mark, we'll see what he gets after his next hurdle start, which I suspect will be over 2 miles. We'll see what mark he gets after that and what he can do when stepped up in trip. Some of his breeding and his actions suggest that decent ground's what he wants, and actually proper good ground might be what he wants. He does kind of have a low daisy cutter action, as you may see when watching the video on this page of his piece of work. I do want to watch this Southwell race, because it is a lot better than it looks on paper if you were just looking at 8 from 13, beaten 33 lengths. Of course, the important thing here is the context, that the horse is improving with run to run. You can see him at the back here. He starts off, he's still a bit keen. He does need to learn to grow up a bit, but that's exciting. He's a young horse. He's unexposed. Maybe if I just actually put that into this screen, sorry, so you can see it properly. You can see here who's riding him here. Killian Leonard. He's just doing well to settle him at the start, and just to get him to learn to use his energy in all of the right places, and to be a racehorse. But he's young, he's fresh, and that's a great thing for us, because he's just going to keep getting better run by run. He's evidently race fit and sound and ready to go. His point was fine. He's had 3 runs for Dr. Newland in 2023 already, so we don't need to wait around for anything. It's just a case of him learning to settle, to race properly. The ground went on the softer side here as well. Now I won't watch it all, but Killian did quite a good job of getting him settled. What I want to watch is this. So this is the final circuit going down the back. You can still see there a bit of greenness jumping out to his right. Whether or not at some point he might be better going the other way round, right-handed. Of course, in the summer, that's kind of the likes of Market Raisin may help on that front, but I think that might just be greenness and inexperience. He jumps plenty straight and some out to his right. That one was straighter. But this is the one I want. This move is what interests me, and I watched it when making the decision whether to kind of press the button. It remains to be seen how good this race may turn out, of course, but he's clearly got ability. He goes 4 or 5 wide here. He took a little while to settle at the start. He kind of picks up, he got a kick in the belly there. He's clearly in the wrong place. The ground's possibly going on the softer side, but he moves around with ease here. Now, remember, at this point, he's used quite a lot of energy because he was pulling, and he's also probably going at a faster pace than is ideal over this 2 mile trip. He's probably been flat out for a little while, kind of getting off that bend, and then he tires and fades away. But that effort was decent enough, and one more run like that where he learns to kind of settle, he's going to get a fairly workable handicap mark, I think. And all the evidence based on that pedigree and everything discussed previously is that when he steps up to kind of 2.5, 3 miles and on decent ground, he is, and learns to settle and kind of grows up as a horse. He's going to be a superb acquisition and fun horse for the summer. The idea is to have loads of fun with him, to get wins at his level, which we'll see as it is. But he's one of those horses who's unexposed. We don't know where his ceiling's going to be from whatever mark it starts off with. Richard Newland's very adept at running up sequences with handicap hurdlers, and we can dream that he can fly through the summer handicap hurdle ranks. But the idea with these two horses is to have some fun, have some competitive action, and to get them winning races, obviously, which is what it's all about. And at whatever level that may be, the excitement and the thrill when they win races is unparalleled at whatever level. So yeah, he's got ability. He is very well bred. He showed ability both in his point to point, and that's he showed a bit more in his last hurdle race. But yeah, a fun, exciting, unexposed horse who's just going to get better with racing, get better run to run as he moves up in trip, as he learns to settle, as his jumping sharpens up. And the great thing with the summer jumping campaign, there are lots of winnable races and lots of great days out in the sunshine ahead. So that's endless possibility. I'm now going to switch over and discuss Sir Camford. So Sir Camford, his profile in front of you here, slightly different horse. Obviously, endless possibility is very much on the thoroughly unexposed end, generally as a racehorse, because he's very lightly raced. And like we said, is related to closely related to a Topham winner. So if any of that ability rubs off on him, we will be certainly having a great time this summer. So Camford's a bit different, and I suppose the type of profile where Dr. Richard Newland made his name when starting out a few years back. He only had kind of 8 to 12 horses at the start, especially before he kind of expanded and moved yards. And he would take horses from other training establishments, I suppose some trainers' cast-offs, and he would transform them due to his facilities, his training approach, giving them time, and he would rejuvenate horses. So the thing with Sir Camford, he was out of Camford Cliffs, bred to be decent, of course. You can see there he's related to winners. 7th hole half brother to a winner on the flat there, and 2 mile 1 furlong hurdle winner Majestic Touch. So it's always good when the dam can produce winners, and obviously for our purposes has produced winners over hurdles. Where should I start? The thing I want to focus on, as you heard in Dr. Richard Newland's video, I know the sound on that one wasn't great. Newland bought this horse in, let's have a look, it's all in the public record here, at the UK Autumn Yearlings and Horses in Training sale, 21st of October 21. He'd done a slight tendon injury, which, as we know, well, you may not know, but the more you get into this jumping game, tendon injuries are more common than we would care to wish for. Many horses, thankfully, come back from them. Amy Murphy, where we've got, where we started our Syndicate adventure, has done a very good job getting Kalashnikov back from a tendon injury. Dr. Rich Newland himself, Pinot de Rey, who he won the Grand National with back in 2014, that horse had done a tendon injury earlier in his career. So, yeah, it's a way to try and find alternatives in terms of when you're buying, if you are willing to give the horse time that they may need. But he's done that. The horse has had well over a year, if not 18 months, and is now kind of in work, stepping up his work. Richard has a deep sand circular canter, which is very good for getting these horses, jumps horses, super fit without putting a load of stress through their limbs. So with any luck, he looks to be like he's working well and enjoying life, and everything, touch wood, is going well so far. Why we were excited, if you're into trainer stats, you can dig into them yourself, but Richard has a fine record in terms of trainer change stats, getting wins out of horses on his first start for him from other yards, and indeed on his kind of first 5 or 6 starts for him, kind of finding the key, getting them winning, improving them, getting the horses to enjoy their racing. The other thing to say about Sir Camford is that at this stage is that he's had 5 runs over hurdles, so he's still a maiden, so he can run in kind of maiden novice hurdles this summer, and the aim when he comes back fit, I suspect, will be to get a win in him ASAP. And quite frankly, if we're cheering home a win or two, well, a win in a maiden hurdle, we'll be delighted before he then goes into handicaps. He has proven he can win. He had a couple of wins on the flat turf, not so well on the all-weather. The main kind of hurdles form we want to touch on, there's this Newbury juvenile hurdle, where he seemed to, well, we think he wants better ground, but he kind of handled softer ground here just fine, but that obviously means it may not be a problem as we kind of head into September, October if it's wet. But as you can see on this juvenile hurdle, it's evident that he had ability, and if I just whiz this along, you can see him, where is he? He's here, top right, there he is. If I just whiz this here, he responds really well to pressure over 2 miles. He's a bit outpaced. It looks like he probably does want 2.5, but he shows a really generous attitude. I can see why Richard was interested in purchasing him based on the bits and pieces of hurdle form. This is a really good run. He jumped well, given he was so inexperienced over hurdles, and you'll see here, an easy Nicky Henderson winner at Newbury, no surprise there, but he absolutely picks up, if you can see here, shows great attitude, great engine, hits the line really hard, suggesting that 2 miles was certainly at the minimum of his stamina limitations as a jumper. So that showed a decent attitude, responding to pressure. He then ran in another juvenile, didn't run so well there, but maybe he was feeling the effects of Newbury. He showed some ability here. Now it's this Sedgefield maiden hurdle I also want to touch on. Yes, it was back in October 2020. We've got every faith, as I'm sure Richard does in himself, that he can rejuvenate these horses and get them back firing into some sort of decent form. Sorry, I've just lost that video there. Here we go. So Sir Camford is here. He is racing prominently at this stage. I'm just going to kind of whiz it round. This is on decent ground, which he clearly handles fine. He travels well. He starts to get outpaced a bit here. 2 mile 1 furlong. He's being niggled along a bit. He can't quite, well, he's keeping in touch, but can't quite go the pace. He kind of makes an effort off the bend, but he's being scrubbed along here. But again, it's the attitude he shows. He wants to please. He wants to respond to pressure. He evidently likes going past, enjoys going past horses. He gets switched right here. He's been under the pump and outpaced for some while. He's at kind of top speed and flat out here. He makes some effort down the hill. He keeps going. He kind of fades a bit after the last, but he keeps plugging on. And, you know, you can see the gap that he's putting back to the rest. He's not stopping there. Storming Norman did okay subsequently, but you know, you've got Small present there, which is some example. Now he's become a kind of 4-time winner over hurdles, including a Haydock in a class 3 of 129. Obviously when he was himself stepped up to 3 miles, that's when his form really started to take off. But that was a solid horse and he wasn't far behind him. And that was a maiden hurdle. Ascot, that is his only novice handicap. His only handicap hurdle to date was in this Ascot race, where the ground went. I think he never looked that happy. Again, maybe that race possibly came too soon. The other thing to say about this is, you know, you can take a judgment on trainers, and I don't mean any disrespect to Ali Strong, but you know, Dr. Newland, well, when Sir Camford was running in 2021, Richard thought the yard may have been a bit under weather or sick, and the horses weren't finishing off their races. And I've dived into the stats, which no doubt you can do as well. But the yard at that time during 2021 were operating at about 5% win strike rate. They kind of only 6.5 to 7% at best. And it was some dip. And I think that year, if my memory is right, without going to check, they're about 3 from 80, 3 from 85 with their national hunt horses during 2021. So there are reasons to think that the horse may not have been firing on all cylinders, especially that Stratford run. He was kind of travelling well, but then petering out a bit before kind of his final run at Wolverhampton. So there's every reason to believe Richard Newland, who, like I said, made his earlier career from transforming other people's cast-offs and horses with a very similar profile to Sir Camford, made his name kind of winning multiple races with the horses like that, and kind of cheaply bought, value bought horses as well. This is a tried and tested method for the team and the yard. We like the look of Sir Camford. I like the fact that he's only had only had one handicap hurdle run. The fact he's still a maiden, so we can run him in any sort of hurdle race we want to this summer. He's shown he has a great attitude. He's shown he's willing and that he has ability, and kind of stepped up to 2.5 on decent summer ground. If Richard's got him right, and you know, he's on his way back from this injury, you know, when he hits the race course in kind of 6 weeks time or so, you know, he can start kind of fulfilling his jumps potential that he's shown, and by kind of leasing for 6 months, you know, it's a low risk for a horse like this for us. We've got every kind of faith and ability that he is going to show something on course, and he's going to be a fun horse for the summer, who, based on his best efforts over hurdles and his best efforts in his career today, evidently will be winning races. So fingers crossed. Together, Sir Camford and Endless Possibility are horses who we are going to have a lot of fun with. If we can get kind of 5-6 runs out of them each before the end of October, you know, 10-12 trips to the races, we're going to have a great time and have loads of fun together, as we always do. Like I said, they're both, you know, all the hard work's been put in with these horses. Endless Possibility is fit. You know, he's going to have a run, hopefully in our colours, kind of in the middle of May, to get his handicap mark. Yeah, same with Sir Camford, unexposed in hurdle races. Hopefully he can pick up a summer kind of maiden hurdle somewhere before we can go onwards and upwards to better things. Again, I should say, yeah, you know, his sire has a decent winners to runners percentage over with his jumpers. And yeah, there's much to look forward to. He's versatile ground wise. He's with a yard who do wonders with horses like this. So it's exciting times, and by putting them both together, Endless Possibility and Sir Camford, yeah, we've got two horses on our team, giving us loads of fun, more opportunities to go racing, more opportunities to keep in touch and follow their progress, and to get excited about as they hit the racecourse in the Racing to Profit Syndicate Silks. So with that said, obviously there's more information on this page. As always, do email us, get in touch with any questions, and hopefully we will see some of you on the inside very soon. But for now, thanks for watching. I hope you found those two videos useful enough, and yeah, take care, and we will see you at a summer jumping racetrack very, very soon. Take care.